everyone, welcome to this 一语道破. Today we'll continue to focus on the misinformation and the false claims related to tariff policies under the Trump administrations in the United States. This time we examine the remarks of Scott Bessent. As an investment expert with background on Soros Fund management, Bessent was initially expected to be a stabilizer forces inside Trump's administrations, preventing him and his teams from making misguided decisions on economics, financial, and trade issues. But a little bit of regret. Since January of this 2020, January 20th, contrary to expectations, U.S. Secretary Scott Bessent has made a series of controversial statements on tariff policies. Below are five typical forces in Bessent rhetoric summarizing from the English language media report. The first, tariff revenues will have some positive effect that can be used to fund tax cuts. Bessent claims that the U.S. Can generate 300 to 600 billion annually through tariffs, which could fund to tax cut and under these congressional considerations. However, economists note that increasing tariff revenues might be offset by reducing trade and slower economic growth, leaving far less actual funding for tax than projected. Second, limited market impact of these tariffs. After announcing new tariff policies, Bessent downplayed the impact of stock markets declines, cautioning against overreacting to market volatility. Yet the sharp market fluctuations reflect investor concern about economic uncertainty triggered by these tariffs. Third, tariff won't cause inflation. Bessent denied that tariffs would fuel inflation, calling them a one-time price adjustment. Economists broadly agree, however, that tariffs could raise prices for imported goods, driving up overall inflation, which is just the opposite what Bessent said to the media and to the public. It's a very important to note that and finding and correct that misleading or that misinformation produced by Bessent himself. Tariffs won't trigger a recession. In an interview, Bessent stated that he saw no reason tariffs would cause U.S. economic recessions. Nonetheless, many economists and financial institutions warning that prolonged trade tensions could heighten recession risk. 5. Advising other countries not retaliate measures. Bessent urged affected countries, means those countries targeted by U.S. tariff coercion or threat, not to retaliate against the United States tariffs, claiming that without retaliations, tariffs would be the high watermark. However, many nations have vowed countermeasures, risking escalation of global trade tensions. Frankly speaking, it's a little bit difficult to imagine before Bessent really sending that out. Please do not make these retaliations, because that will not be good for the United States. It's just like to persuade other countries that you have some duties to be taken advantage of by U.S. Trump administrations. It's not only irrational, but you cannot imagine that people like Bessent can talk that things in such kind of serious ways. It may people consider and feel a little bit curious in why he makes such a so ridiculous and unreasonable statement. In summary, Bessent's statements and positions on these tariffs have sparked widespread controversy, with many views lacking robust economic groundings or contradicting mainstream economic perspectives. There is justified disappointment and frustration with Bessent, and as he has not played a constructive role expected of him. While alternative interpretations exist, his credibility and professional background will likely face sustainable pressures both now and in the future. It is hoped that Besant will soon make a clear choice to return to the path of professionalism and rationalities, a development that would be welcomed as encouraging news by all parties. Thank you very much.